Your enemy parent or parents may be using battle tactics against you. For reasons that only make sense to them, your enemy number one and your enemy parents have to make you aware of that at every opportunity. To do so, they employ a strategy that's meant to control you, destroy your reputation, and to turn you into a person that no one will believe. It's your word against theirs. Here are 5 battle tactics your enemy parents are definitely using against you. 1. Poking at your triggers. Your enemy parents know exactly what to say and do to set you off. They have had years to study their opponent, and they have had practice sliding under the radar of everyone else's red flag meter. How do they do that? Well, for starters, they're charming. In public, they hide insults behind humor, which is humiliating for you. In private, it's backhanded compliments that were meant to flatter, but instead, they hurt you. They find glory in setting you up to fail. Your enemy parent knows that your patience is on thin ice, so they touch on your most sensitive triggers, the ones that they know will cause you to lose your temper. This places the focus slowly on you and your rage. Due to the constant subtle harassment, you fall into the trap time and time again. In the eyes of their chosen audience, you proved your enemy parents right. You're clearly uncontrollable and rude. So that makes their tough love standards justifiable. It's why they took a non-nurturing approach to raising you. They justify all this because, after all, you turned out okay, right? 2. Gossip and groupthink. For an enemy parent, a phone is a weapon that will be used against you in the court of chosen public opinion, known as groupthink. Using gossip, your enemy parent controls the story, so they get to define the facts. And since we humans love tea or gossip, we just drink it right up. The chosen audience believes the parent due to perceived credibility. It simply must be true, due to the common myth that all parents actually like and love their children. The chosen audience generally trust what's being said by the enemy parent. They never consider that the tea could be laced with misinformation and little white lies. The little white lies being extra cream and sugar to make the tea delicious indeed. Your enemy parent has done this so much that you spend most of your adult years dismantling these deep-seated negative characterizations about you. It alienates you from others, especially other family members who barely know you. 3. Playing the savior and the victim. I'm more than willing to bet you may have an enemy parent who has a savior and victim complex. Using the vehicle of gossip, they're the tragic victim of every story, but also the hero. You'll never believe what Ethel Jr. did. She needed money for food. I had to save her from herself, of course. I'll never see that money again. Absolutely no appreciation was shown. And scene. So dramatic. What's often being said, not being said, Ethel Jr. is a member of the working poor. After exhausting all options, she simply wanted some very minor financial help. So Ethel Jr. had been living off of ramen, and she finally wanted steak. Huge crime. Yeah, expecting someone like Ethel Jr. to repay you with an all-expenses-paid vacation to Acapulco to show appreciation when they can barely afford food after all the expenses are paid. It's just simply ridiculous, but the story will be told and embellished upon anyway. In the eyes of this enemy parent, Ethel Jr. is ungrateful and probably a few other names. The one thing enemy parents will never be confused for are empaths. They simply lack that main critical ingredient. Oh God, what was it again? Oh yeah, empathy. Using their savior victim complex, what the enemy parent is rewarded with is attention and validation from their chosen audience, the tea-loving audience. 4. Causing family rifts. Enemy parents love to be the center of a family argument. It's the ultimate validation of their importance. It could be you versus your other parent, you versus your siblings, you versus extended family members, you versus family friends, you versus the mailman and the dog. They will get whoever they can enlist in the war against you, so that you feel isolated and alone. And due to lack of independent thinkers, they usually win. 5. Guilt trips. All aboard the guilt trip. The only meaningful vacation you've been on in years. Sarcastically, of course. Enemy parents use guilt, their DNA title, and entitlement based on that DNA title, such as, oh, I'm your mother, and after 2 minutes of labor, I deserve a $200 handbag. I don't care if it's her birthday. Where's mine? Enemy parents never miss an opportunity to remind you of their DNA title. And they love to pull rank publicly. They live for your public humiliation, and even more so as you age. If you're feeling a little bit tired and worn in the presence of your enemy parent or parents, then one could be left to conclude that